Hey there, 75B. Making a quick video to talk to you a little bit about the honors contract coming up this week. Now, I've discussed it briefly in earlier videos, but I thought it would be helpful to walk through the form for you really fast. Now, this is going to be on your week 4 module. All you got to do is go under learning materials. I'm going to have some more stuff posted here, but I wanted to make sure I got this up and going for you so you had some time to think about it. And I'm not going to download it. I'm just going to go ahead and read it right here. So the honors project has a couple of components to it, and it's designed to help you think more deeply about literature, but also to use your researching skills and also your critical thinking skills and to flex them in a way that you may not get a chance to in another kind of literature class. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. So you're going to read a database article from a refereed journal, and that just means a peer-reviewed journal, on an American literary text or author from 1865 to the present. So any day in 1865 up until this morning, I'm fine with it. But it's got to be somebody that we can consider an American writer or an American text. Some people go a little bit more contemporary or do genre fiction. I'm okay with that as long as you can find a refereed journal article about it. So in the past, people have done Edgar Allan Poe, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein for intro to literature, other pieces by Mark Twain. In 75A, I've had people work on Benjamin Franklin. Even more contemporary authors, I had somebody do Orson Scott Card, who is the author of Ender's Game. I'm fine with that. I strongly recommend that you pick a text or an author that you really like, that you really want to dig into deeper. Because that's going to give you a lot of passion for the project, and it's going to help fire up your mind while you're doing this work. Now, once you find that text, you're going to research a database article. And I recommend you go from these different databases in my Chaffey portal through our databases. The Literature Resource Center is good, and JSTOR is also really good. Those are really your top 2 options. But you can still find other good stuff in Academic Search Complete and also in ERIC. I think we still have ERIC. I'm not sure. Now, let's say you wanted to work on Ender's Game. You're just going to go to the JSTOR database entry page and put in Ender's Game. So most people pick a book that they've already read and they have like a positive relationship with. Most people don't pick something that they hate. And then they read a journal article that is commenting on or providing extra critique to the actual primary text. All journal articles about a text are going to be what we call secondary sources, right? It's not a primary source. It's a source talking about another source. Okay. Then I'm going to ask you to write a 3-page précis, wow, that's a fancy word, a 3-page summary of the article's most important points. So you're just going to go through and say, this is what this article is saying about this text that I really like, this short story, or, this book, or this play, or this mid-sized poem, or something like that. If it's just one tiny little poem, you might not have enough to go off of. But then again, I've seen lots of different people work on all kinds of different size projects, and I really want to encourage you to go after something you want and just start sending me emails, or texts or reminds about what you would like to work on. 99% of the time, I'm totally great with it. I want you to be passionate and enthusiastic about this process. I want you to pick something that you are really into. So you're going to read that. You're going to write a 3-page summary. I'm going to have to change that. Okay. And then after that 3-page summary, the next 7 pages is when you evaluate that research essay, that critical piece of scholarship, and talk about things that are missing or things that you could add. You can also, I would also like you to evaluate how important you think the journal article is to deepening your understanding of this writer and this text, and also to use 3 other journal articles to help support your critical analysis. And you got to include all copies of those articles, right? Well, that's so easy. I'll make like a submission site where you can just drop the PDFs in there. Most of them are going to be downloadable as PDFs. If not, we'll find a way around that. We'll find a way to make it work. So in other words, you're writing a 3-page summary of that critical article, and then you're going to analyze that article. Okay, what did you learn from it? How important or significant do you think it is? And then using at least 3 other articles, you're going to talk about what this article didn't do or could do differently or could change slightly. So you're saying, okay, this article did X, Y, and Z really well, but it didn't really consider some of these other factors, A, B, and C, that some other critics or scholars have written about. It's very, very open-ended, and that's just because like I've said before, I want you to really enjoy digging in and finding out more about a piece of literature that you really, really like. It's also designed to help you understand that, one piece of scholarship does not ultimately define any work of literature or any work of art. It's a constant dialogue that continues to grow, among critics and scholars and people like us who engage with those conversations. So, 3-page summary, 7-page critical analysis, not a big deal. After that, there'll be a class presentation. I'm going to want you to record it, and if you can make it around 15 minutes, that's great. I strongly suggest you use the Screencast-O-Matic application in order to record your to be able to record your presentation. I'm sorry, my mouth is really dry. Because as you can see, you can put a little picture of yourself in the bottom, and you can kind of work on your distance presentation, which is, an important muscle to keep on developing. Hopefully we're almost out of this, pandemic situation, but to be able to talk on this kind of platform and to do so effectively is going to be really, really crucial. I can help you set up Screencast-O-Matic. It is free, and it cuts you off at 15 minutes, so that's a real nice built-in gem. I'm not expecting a perfectly fluid, presentation with no mistakes and no gaffes, because look, you've seen enough of my videos already and know that I'm not doing it perfect. My job, as I see it, is to help you continue to develop your way towards perfection, but to keep in mind, that it's the enthusiasm and the actual content of your presentation that's really important. And I strongly suggest you make a PowerPoint and just kind of walk through it the way we did. Oh, great, we got text. You get to see what else is going on in my life. My wife and my mom are talking about COVID vaccines. We'll keep out of that. So in your presentation, I'm going to ask you to talk about the cultural and historical significance of the writer and that work that you're writing about. Okay, why have people looked at this work and said, wow, this is something worthy of taking note of? Why is there an importance? You might not agree with every reason why, but if you can say, well, this is what some people have said in the past, that's fine. Then you're going to do a brief summary of your primary critical article. Hey, this is the big critical article that I looked at. It can't be a book review. Book reviews there's not enough stuff to them. I love book reviews, but their job is just to say, this book is good in this ways, this book is not so good in this ways, these other ways. A critical review is going to be much more in depth and give you a lot more to talk about. And then you got that 5 minutes for evaluation of your primary critical article. Freestanding delivery, okay, this I obviously made back in a different era when we were all doing these in person. I would like to see your screen on with your face in the corner just because it's good practice. You know, being an honor student is about that presentation. If you're not an honor student, that's okay. I still think this is a very worthwhile project, and I'm willing to go to bat to help anybody make sure that they get this done. Um, I'm giving you this stuff really early because I want to make sure that we don't leave it to the last minute. Let's keep it really loose. I mean, if you want to show me rough drafts or outlines along the way, I would love, 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 love to see those. So let's talk a little bit about some dates. Your project proposal and primary journal article, I'd like no later than Thursday, 11:59 p.m., just to make sure that you're up on that process. If you feel like you must change it later on, let me know. If you want to send me a couple different primary journal articles and say, hey, I'm thinking about these two articles. Which one do you think is a better choice and why? Or, you know, I'm trying to determine between these two primary texts. What do you think? I'd be more than happy to engage in that discussion with you. This is the really fun part of the class for me. So you also need to get a contract due to the honors office. I believe it's through the Canvas page by Friday the 5th. That's this Friday by 5 p.m. Don't worry about obsessing about it and making it perfect. If you want to run it by me first, that's great. It's actually a new process from what I understand. And I believe it's a Jot form or a Google form that we're doing now. So it should be fairly seamless. And if there's something that needs to be revised or is not quite what people need it to be, they're going to let you know and say, hey, tidy this up. Don't stress about it. This is just an early stage of the process to make sure that people are doing what they need to do. Finally, the review and presentation. I'd like them no later than May 5th, 11:59 p.m. If you want to get them in sooner, I would love that because I really want to have an ongoing dialogue with the class. We'll take some of our focus away from weekly discussion and put it into people posting their videos so we can have a discussion on what they came up with. Because it's really great to get a conversation going on a project that you've worked really hard on, and to see it help deepen other people's understanding of something that you're really into, that you feel is significant in some way. And their signatures and stuff like that. Once again, this was, originally a print out form back when we were all people in physical buildings. But anyway, this will be all posted. I'm going to put up a couple more videos to let you think a little bit about critical theory and how you may want to apply a certain critical theory or look for one in your critical journal article. Some of you may want to focus on, say, feminism or gender criticism or queer theory or Marxism or psychoanalysis. There are lots of choices. If all those words don't mean anything to you, sit tight and just watch the next video that I put up, which will give you a quick introduction to that. Thanks a lot. And if you've got any questions, let me know. And if you haven't done the survey yet, check your Canvas inbox. Make sure you get that survey in, because I know we're having trouble connecting on on my advice hours, so I really want to optimize when my regular hours are. So when people just need to slide in, they can. Of course, I'm more than happy to meet outside of those hours, but it's great to kind of have that optimal drop-in advice hour times that work the best for as many people as possible. Thanks for watching, and keep in touch. I'll be talking to you soon.